All right, the 6 went into both of the coefficients, and then 2 of the y's canceled from the bottom. You want to make sure you keep it in the bottom because that's where the larger exponent was. This is 2. So you had to factor the top. It's weird when the x is negative. I know that it is. Okay, so you have to make sure that this could be something you do first and last if you wanted to. Okay, you could do it that way if it's less confusing. But basically, when you're dealing with an x that's negative at the end, you have to do trial and error. One of these x's has to be plus and one of them has to be minus. And then you can work with the factors of 15. So you could have done 1 and 15. You could have done 3 and 5. I could put the 3 here and the 5 here, multiply the outer and the inner, and I get negative 3x plus 5x, which is a positive 2x, and that's the goal. If it was wrong, I would switch my 3 and my 5, okay? So this one should have been, oh wait, this should be minus. Sorry, I didn't even catch that. Okay, so this should have been 3x, 3 plus x, and then 5 minus x over 2x plus 1 and x plus 3. And then the x plus 3's cancel. The order there doesn't matter because it's addition, and it should have been 5 minus x over 2x plus 1. Questions on that one? So the great thing about these sections is it's forcing you to review the factoring while you're doing these sections. You're like constantly getting reviewed. These are like the 3 best sections to be building upon each other because they are literally continuing to factor. And it's going to keep happening when we move into addition and subtraction. So it's not going away anytime soon. Okay, next came different to 2 squares in the top and then factor by grouping in the bottom. You should have gotten x minus 5 and then x squared plus 1. Next came your multiplication. So on the top left, I can't change anything there yet. Okay, I can't cross anything out. I got to factor the rest. Bottom left becomes x minus 6 and x minus 8. Top right becomes x minus 8, x plus 10. Bottom right becomes the difference 2 squares, x plus 10 and x minus 10. So the x plus 10's canceled here. The x plus 8's x minus 8, sorry, canceled here. You cannot cancel this way. Okay, remember you can only do top and bottom, so you could have also done this with this, but then this one would have stayed. Either way, you should still end up with an x minus 8 in the top and then x minus 6 and x minus 10 in the bottom. You want to leave it expanded like that. Don't refoil that out, okay? You want it as simplified as possible in the fraction form. Questions on that one? Yeah, Kevin. All right, 5 is your first division one. You've got to keep, change, flip. You can either factor, then keep, change, flip, or keep, change, flip, and then factor. The order doesn't matter there. X plus 3 and x plus 2 don't factor, but once you flip it, the top is the perfect cube, okay? So I'm going to review the perfect cubes again real fast. First of all, they have to both be perfect cubes, which means the exponent on the variable has to be divisible by 3, which it is. And then the 27 has to be a perfect cube, which it is. The cube root of x to the third is x. The cube root of 27 is 3. So I do the parentheses x and then 3. I do parentheses the first term squared, the product of the 2, the last one squared, and then what's my acronym? SOAP. Same sign, opposite sign, always positive. So the x plus 3's canceled in the top and the bottom. You could have worked this way, okay? But again, that would have stayed. No matter what, you always have one x plus 3 at the end. And then x squared minus 3x plus 9 can't be factored. It stays just the way it is. Questions on that one? Okay, and then last one. Again, either keep, change, flip, and then reduce, or reduce and then keep, change, flip. The top left becomes x plus 4 and x minus 4. It's different to 2 squares. Bottom left can't be factored. Top right becomes x plus 10 and x minus 9. Bottom right, x plus 10 and x plus 4. So then the x plus 4's canceled here. The x plus 10's canceled here. And x minus 9 and 9 minus x are opposite, so we cancel, but we put a negative 1 on the front. I would have taken negative x minus 4 or negative x plus 4 if you distribute the negative. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter when you put the negative?
Nope. questions. How do we feel? Pretty good? Yeah? So again, it's that with the factor by grouping that's on your quiz. That's what's on your quiz review that is your homework for tonight. And then tomorrow we'll go over that and then we'll move into your adding and subtracting, okay? Over the homework from last night, so that's this. So remember the odds are on Calc Chat. The evens, I think I posted to be ready at 8 a.m. If not, I will release those. But 34 should have been r plus 1 over r. 36, t minus 3 over t plus 3t minus 2. And 38 is just 1/3. Yeah? Okay, so top right doesn't get factored. Top left, you've got a variable squared at the front and the end. So when I factor this, I have to include a variable in both the first position and the second position. So then I'm looking for the factors of -2 that sum to a +1, which would be +2, -1. Do outer and inner to check here. So this would be -xy, +2xy, and that gives me a +xy. So that matches what I needed it to be. Bottom left, I could take out an x squared. Top right, again, can't be factored. Bottom right is my variable at the front and the end again. So both of these get x, both of these get y's. And then I'm looking for the factors of 2 that sum to 3. So +2, +1. You don't need the 1 there, but if you want it there, you can. So now comes the canceling. I've got an x plus 2y and an x plus 2y. I've got an x and an x squared. And then my numerator has an x minus y. My denominator has an x plus y and an x plus y. So you could either leave it expanded like that, or you could have rewritten it as x minus y over x plus y squared. Just don't FOIL that out. Keep it as it is.
What about the x on the x squared? Where does that?
Oh, that should be there too. Sorry, that's in the bottom. Yeah, thank you. There. The x should be there too. When I do it like, well, if I was to take this as like a quiz or test, like when I practice your keys, I circle so that I don't forget something like that. Like I would be like, oh, that's still here, and that's still here. Because when you start to factor, especially if you're not neat about it, it's really easy to leave out something. So just be really, really careful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Kiara.
What is like all the x's like not?
So that would be like, remember in the very beginning of this section, I said if the bottom is 0, it makes the whole thing undefined. So it's just telling you what x can't equal. It's like a domain restriction. You're not going to be required to put it on your quiz or your test. Just know that when you see it in an answer, that's what it means. Because if I look at this overall answer, like if I look here, if I look here, right? This was my initial factored form of this question. If either of those parentheses result in 0, then I get a 0 in the bottom, and when you divide by 0, it's undefined. So you're basically saying what values would make this function undefined, and it's whatever's going to be a 0 in the denominator. But again, just know that that's why that's there. You're not going to be quizzed on it right now. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Okay, 34 r over r minus 1, and I'm going to flip it, times r squared minus 1 over r squared. Okay, so this becomes r plus 1 and r minus 1. The r cancels with one of these r's. The r minus 1 cancels with this r minus 1. So in the numerator, I just have r plus 1, and in the denominator, there's just an r. And you cannot do that, right? Yeah, you can't. That's like, those are buddies. They cannot be separated. They can't be canceled out unless they have the exact same match. If it was like 1r over r, because it's multiplication, you can do it. But as soon as there's a plus or minus in between them, you need the whole expression to be canceled together. It can't be part. You're welcome. How are we doing? Questions? Okay, so this is what your quiz review is, okay? You should get it open. We're going to do one more thing together, but then you can get this open. Okay, well, you can get it open, and I'll work on it. We're going to do one more thing together. This goes through the factoring at the beginning. So the first page is factoring, second page is factoring, and then the solutions to those. There are more on the solutions page. If you want extra practice, feel free to do them, okay? And then it goes through simplifying. Only the left side, well, most of the left side anyways, is highlighted. Just to work on the highlighted. Like if you work on just those and you're confident, you should be okay. If you want extra practice, feel free to do the ones that are not highlighted. Okay, it's just extra practice. And then it is with the multiplying and dividing there at the end. So this would be the P5B. That's where that starts, number 19. The other one is P5A.
I can't open it.
And the solutions are worked out, has both of them built in. This one finishes with, it finished that one, and the last section, oh, this one, second page, yeah.